Hello and welcome to what will be the Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 1. We're going to have a best of two series between MiTH and Invasion. Invasion just coming off of a 2-0 win up against Immunity Esports that they just played. The game's starting a little bit late and we had a fail to connect the first run around, so it looks like this rendition of the game should go on without a hitch. Hopefully we don't go back to the lobby screen. And there we go, into the picks we go. I'm Grandis C, and well, finally, I'm joined by co-caster. I have Mike Loris with me.
Yeah, I saw that. I was in the other game, Arrow versus Kingdom, which is still going on, but Kingdom, they really started at 322, so I had to get the hell out of there. It was an action-packed game, but I think it's all over now, or for the most part all over. But hopefully this game is going to be completely worth it, as we have two very capable teams. You said Invasion winning 2-0. How were those games? Were they like really decisive, or what?
Extremely decisive. Game 2 went for 40 minutes, but not because they weren't winning, but because Invasion decided to play the safest darn game of Dota I've ever seen. They had a gyrocopter with Satanic Heart and Butterfly as his items, and he got Aegis like 3 times, so I don't know why they didn't just commit, but they had the late game advantage, so they could do it anyway. So, not because it wasn't decisive, but because they just played it extremely safe. That said, we're into this draft, and the bans are going to be pretty quick, as are the picks. Brewmaster faces Void, banned out by Invasion. Lycan Death Prophet taken out by MiTH Trust. First pick Doom, follow up Shadow Shaman Viper.
Well, right off the bat, MiTH Trust, they have inherently a little bit more aggressively slanted heroes. Invasion with the Razor as well as Doom can play this very slow if they really want to, although MiTH Trust, I don't know if they're going to let this happen. With the Shadow Shaman picked up already, they're going to be inclined to rotate a little bit more, especially when you could count on the Doom not being able to do that much once you do rotate on him. So, yeah, MiTH Trust with the Viper Shadow Shaman also lends itself to a little bit of pushing. The Shadow Shaman wards plus Viper's inherent tankiness and Nether Toxin is going to mean that they're probably going to be, right off the bat, a little bit more inclined to pressure Invasion. Although Invasion could definitely change up this comp with their support picks and stuff like that, and then look to make some aggression go the other way. I'm expecting MiTH Trust are going to be starting most of the fights, at least with just these two heroes on the board. It's always a little bit too early to tell, though.
Yeah, definitely. With the information we have now, that's probably a pretty fair assessment. Invasion, they have a lot of flexibility as to where their lanes are going to land. I'm going to assume that that's going to be a safe lane Doom and a mid-Razor, although we could see, like, safe lane Doom, Razor aggressive trial lane. They could go pretty much wherever they want. Scarth Mage somehow weaseled his way through the second banning stage, and he'll be the first pick for MiTH Trust. Their supporting duo looks really solid.
You can never go wrong with Scarth Mage, Shadow Shaman. Those two heroes will always be fantastic working together, as you set up for a Mystic Flare a little bit later, whereas early on, if you get to shackle someone, drop a couple of Arcane Bolts on them, it's going to be pretty easy to bring them down. Even though Razor, as well as Doom, are certainly more on the durable end of heroes, so they might be able to survive that. It's still a lot to ask for heroes in order to survive that much burst damage. So, Invasion, they're going to have to pick up some supports now. They banned out the Earthshakers, so Invasion, their support picks are growing rather thin, at least for heroes that they would really feel comfortable picking up. With the Doom pick, you want to ideally have a ranged support hero, so Vengeful Spirit, Rubik, both would be some pretty nice pickups for them in the support department.
Yeah, I'd like Venge here. It would be really nice to get out of the Scarth Mage Mystic Flare. It's good on the dire side, but instead they go for the Shadow Demon. A very good defensive support with defensive disruptions. Right now, they're not setting up for very much of anything, with the exception being the Razor Static Link. But they're setting themselves up for pretty much whatever they want as far as that secondary hero. Kunkka, Mirana, Leshrac, Lina even. I don't know. They're pretty open. As long as they pick something that has a good stun to follow up, I'm liking the Shadow Demon pick. Puck is the pick from MiTH Trust, and you can't really go wrong with that. It'll be a nice mid-hero, but instead they go for the Dazzle. Still a pretty scary hero to combo with the Shadow Demon because of the physical burst of Shadow Wave. But then again, I would have liked a Mirana a little bit better.
I mean, it does lend itself to a very particular style of playing. You want to be bursty aggressive, so Shadow Demon setting up with the disruption into a Dazzle Shadow Wave does do a lot of physical damage, which is a very unique way to see it. And you can see the Axe being banned out from MiTH Trust. When you have Shadow Demon Dazzle, you know that the enemies are going to be running something a little bit different. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Slardar from Invasion or something around those lines. I love these two heroes together because 9 times out of 10, they go with a really, really rare hero. And can't really say no to that.
Yeah, I think Axe is probably more solid than Slardar, but then again, you're on the dire side. Slardar, wonderful at getting Roshan pretty early on. and he thrives in those aggressive situations, especially if you have heroes like Dazzle and Shadow Demon to just keep him alive throughout the most of that. Disruption into the Shadow Wave with the follow-up Crush from Slaughter could be really solid, and it would be a lot of fun to watch. If nothing else, Drow Ranger, the last pick for MiTH Trust. They have 5 ranged heroes on their team, so I suppose why not? I would love to see the Slaughter now, as he'd be a wonderful hero to get into the face of that Drow.
Oh yeah, Cloud9 status activated for MiTH Trust. They got the 5 heroes going. Viper is going to benefit a whole lot from this Drow Ranger, especially since usually Viper does scale off pretty hard into the late game. Not as much when he has like plus 40 something damage, and well, it's only going to be a Centaur actually. Kind of boring, a little bit disappointing from Invasion. I want to see that Slardar. Again, getting in the face of Drow is what you want to do, although Centaur could do it very well as well. I mean, you blink right into her face and you double edge her, she's probably going to die. But Invasion, they have a solid enough lineup. They can't really take this very late though, and they have a lot of sustain against this Drow Ranger. Like, going with this Drow against the Dazzle is going to be a little bit risky. But I think MiTH Trust, they definitely have the damage advantage. They definitely have the late game advantage. It's going to be the mid game where they're going to struggle, if they struggle at all.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Their lanes are looking pretty solid. I'm not sure how they're going to shake down. Let's see, I'm going to expect a mid-Razor, and under most circumstances, I'd expect Drow Ranger to be taking up the mid position, but then again, the protected farm with the 2 supports down in safe lane might help her better, securing an early MiTH to make up for the fact that she's not going to get the levels that she really wants. But either way, into the game we're going to go, and on the Radiant side, we have MiTH Trust, with KYT handling the puck, Naki on the Shadow Shaman, MyPro on the Viper, Lakel's playing on the Drow Ranger, and we are going to have SD playing on the Skarath Mage.
All right, so we have Invasion up on the top lane right now. We got FCFC playing the Centaur War Runner, being supported by OK's Shadow Demon as well as ADTR's Dazzle. Keswick Imba is going to be playing the mid lane Razor. That leaves Ghost down towards the bottom lane as the solo hero, all alone as the Doombringer. So it is pretty much going to be as expected lanes for Invasion. However, I thought that they would have run the Centaur, Shadow Demon, Dazzle combination aggressively and put the Doom up on top. Because really with Dazzle, Shadow Demon, you want to be able to set up for the Hoof Stomp. You want to be able to kill things really quickly. If they go and support the Doombringer, I'll just be so incredibly surprised. But I'd rather like to see Invasion switch their top and bottom lanes right now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair, especially since we're probably not going to see MiTH Trust go aggressive to try and dodge said lane. I think that's probably the only reason why you'd start out in this laning situation. But then again, Puck at level 1, despite being a pretty elusive hero with a loser orb, if you're able to lock him down after he throws it out so he can't jaunt to his orb, just disrupt him up or whatever have you, he's still definitely killable. But then again, not if you have the Shadow Demon starting down in bottom. They're going to find themselves a rune, but it's going to be snagged by SD on the Skarath Mage. Not the best hero to have an invisibility rune, but still can make things happen. The Doom is currently not sitting in lane at all, and Shadow Demon is swaggering his way towards top as well.
Oh man, Doom is just, well, he's going to first get his creep, which is going to be the start of his laning phase. By the time he does get down there, he'll be facing up against a Drow Ranger, and that's not a good matchup for Doom at all. Like, being against a ranged hero is bad enough, let alone a Drow Ranger, who, graciously for the Doom, has gone for 1 in Precision Aura, so it could have been worse, but Keswick Imba is going to very narrowly dodge an Invis gank, because they do go for top instead. FCFC, unfortunately, can't close the gap, and going for this Puck is going to be so difficult. Like, Puck is just going to phase shift every single time you want to disrupt and kill him. So this laning choice for Invasion, I think, is going to really punish their heroes. They can't get anything done in this top lane. They're going to get literally nothing done in the bottom lane, and then mid lane is mid lane. That's it. But it could have been so much better for them if they just switched these up just a little bit.
Yeah, Drow Ranger, she's in a 1v0 lane, which is exactly how Drow Ranger wants things to go. She's going to have all the experience in the world, all of the farm she wants, and it's going to be up to these supports to rotate, but then again, they can't really rotate to a bottom lane with nobody in it, as Shadow Demon Disruption, or Shadow Demon as well as Dazzle with the Disruption Burst combo is nice against a Drow Ranger, but you really need that follow-up Disable. Naki is currently sitting down here, and they'll run some pulls in their jungle just to get as much as they can out of this bottom lane, but I would have liked to see them just kind of stick around and try to look for kills if they can.
Yeah, this is not the best laning stage for Invasion. When you pull out a Dazzle Shadow Demon, you have to be aggressive with those, because again, the physical damage is such a unique burst combination that is going to most likely get kills if you play it right, but it's unfortunately just not going to get a kill on the Puck. So the way this lane, or the way this game is going to start off of the lanes, is going to so very heavily benefit MiTH Trust. They want this Drow to get as much farm as possible. She excels with the farm a lot more than experience, and now Ghost's going to pick a fight with KYT, although I don't think that's a fight that Ghost really wants to take. That zero base armor really hurting him in that engagement. Mid lane, it is going to be Kesekimba taking a lot of damage from the Viper. However, he's going to get most of the damage stolen from the Viper. Another Toxin's going to let him kill him off. No, 14 HP. Does force out the salve, and the poison will kill him off, actually. That was so narrow, but he got him. Level 2 poison tag, level 2 nether toxin, just enough to kill the Razor. MiTH Trust, they're sitting pretty in these lanes.
They really are. Usually Razor Viper lane is fairly even for both sides. You expect Viper to get a little bit of an edge, maybe, after he gets the levels up, but now it's going to be pretty much in the favor of MyPro. Giving up a solo kill, now sitting at a level and a half above Kesekimba, not that much, but still that first blood gold also going to heavily favor him. The supports are doing very little to nothing on either side. I'm going to say that that benefits MiTH, as the Shadow Shaman is just going to be happy that he's getting experience from the lane, and Scarth Mage getting the pull experience is fine for him as well. Once Scarth Mage gets his level 2, I'd like to see them try and potentially look for a roam, although it's not the strongest. They definitely could make a kill happen, especially if somebody's sitting low, most notably Kesekimba on mid.
KYT is not getting that much off of the lane, but he's certainly not going to die anytime soon. Kesek going to whip him a couple of times, but really the crucial part in this game is the fact that FCFC, though he is getting a lot of farm, Lakel's is getting just as much farm on the bottom lane, and the Drow Ranger is able to contribute a lot more to this mid lane in the precision aura. Doom is going, not Doom, Invasion are going to have a nice little opening in the early mid game, like 15 minutes-ish, when Centaur should have his Blink Dagger up, and MiTH Trust are not going to have anything to answer that. That's really their only substantial time when they could make something happen and be completely safe in doing so. And if MiTH Trust handled that stage well, then come late game, they're just going to overrun the Invasion side with damage. But they're going to look for the mid lane for now. Shadow Demon is going to open things up with Disruption, and MyPro sees it coming. He does have boots, and he will be safe. This is a fully aggressive Viper. He's gone for Poison Attack as well as Nether Toxin, not a single point into the Corrosive Skin. Against Razor, I would say that's probably not the best build, but still, if he gets caught, he's very easy to bring down.
Yeah, for sure. He's not going to get caught now. With the extra damage from the Precision Aura, he's going to be hitting very hard with this build, and he can just put the screws to Kesekimba. Kesekimba walks up for a creep, and then he almost just dies straight up to that. So in that sense, it's okay, although I do like the Corrosive Skin, or at least 1 point in it early. Down in bottom, we are going to push down this tier 1 tower coming out from MiTH Trust. The Doom shows his face, but isn't really able to do anything. This tier 1 tower is going to fall very quickly, despite Dro not having any points in her ultimate just yet, just pops it. Now, yep, they are going to go for the Puck. I think Puck's going to be just fine. He's going to be able to jaunt towards the south, and he is going to survive to that combo. They weren't able to lock him down in place, and Lakel's and company are going to find themselves a tower, despite none of them getting the last hit. Puck, as long as he doesn't use his Loser Orb to farm, shouldn't die to this. Although if they do lock him down, he will be in some trouble. A Loser Orb is going to snag a creep, but doesn't pull the creep aggro off, and Puck needs to play defensively now, as he doesn't have enough mana to keep on going.
Yeah, as good as the setup is for a Disruption Hoof Stomp, Phase Shift kind of trumps that every single time. So, unfortunately for Invasion, I don't think they're going to get anything on this Puck unless the Puck severely misplays. A wraparound gank with a Shadow Demon is probably their best bet. Now they're going to go for round 2. There's the Disruption, although it looks like it's just to secure the tower. It wasn't in order to go to kill on this Puck, although they will bring him down very, very low. So, tower being secured on either side, and Puck is now going to have a lot more free space to farm. Ghost is as well. They're both going to look to get some levels, and Puck, as well as the Doom, probably going to look to go for Blink Dagger. So we see the offlane heroes going to finally get what they want, and that's just levels and gold, which they've been so far, for the most part, denied.
Yeah, Doom denied less than the Puck, mostly due to the fact that he has Devour to keep that constant flow of extra gold in his pockets. But yeah, Puck is also looking at a similar amount of gold, and the Doom's probably going to get his Blink Dagger up at an earlier click, but then again, the Puck's Blink Dagger is probably a little bit more impactful. The Doom Initiation's wonderful and all, but the biggest Blink coming out for Invasion is going to be the one, their Centaur, that's going to come very quickly.
Did he get the last hit on the tower? No, he didn't. The Dazzle got it, but still not a terribly huge deal. He is going to have an incredibly fast Blink Dagger, actually. Not going to stop for any of those weak Tranquil Boots or any of those stupid items like that. Magic Wand, you don't need that. You just need Blink Dagger. Then getting a kill on the Puck is a lot more feasible. And also, he could start going for the Drow Ranger, who looks like she is going to be going for a Hand of Midas, it looks like. Holding on to 1,100 gold with the Gloves of Haste would indicate that. So it will be a very nice opportunity for Invasion to get themselves on the board, because Centaur with Blink is going to be by far the scariest hero on the map once he picks that item up. And he'll just have it in like 2 or 3 CS. It'll be go time for him as far as he's concerned. And also for Invasion, like they're going to kick into action as soon as they get that Blink Dagger up.
Yep. Razor, he has very little to nothing, hasn't really been able to farm much in this lane, although his CS is even up against the Viper. He died once, and that's where a lot of his gold has been committed. He doesn't have any parts towards his mechanism, and actually purchases himself a full set of tangos to continuously sustain this lane up against the poison attack harass, so eventually MiPro is going to make quite a big edge over the Razor, and although once the Centaur comes online with that Blink Dagger, there is the potential to jump onto anybody and get those kills. The Drow Ranger getting MiTH, it's, I think, the right choice, or at least not a bad choice, although it's definitely punishable by Invasion. It's going to be up to them in order to do so.
Alright, so we'll see if they can. It's going to all, again, hinge upon this Centaur, who is going to have his Blink Dagger and 2 more creeps. My pro in the mid lane, now that I think of it, the lack of corrosive skin, or the corrosive skin list build, the poison attack aggressive build, I guess I should say, is actually pretty nice here. The only rotations he has to worry about are from Shadow Demon, Dazzle, and those 2 heroes deal, for the most part, physical damage. Shadow Poison is magical, technically, but it's not something you really have to defend against, so going for this build is actually pretty nice, and it makes a lot of sense. They're going to go for Ghost now, down on bottom. Lakelz has tagged him with the Frost Arrows, but the damage just isn't quite there yet. Drow is a little bit short of level 6. If she had that, it probably would have been a very easy kill on the Doom, despite the fact that the Frost Arrows were only level 1, but just a little bit of poking and prodding here and there. Now FZ, here it goes. Stomp, double edge. That's such a dead Drow Ranger, and that's what I want to see from the Centaur, non-stop for pretty much the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that's what Invasion need to do. Yeah, Drow Ranger, crucially, she wasn't able to buy up her MiTH before she died. I think she had the gold to get it, but if she didn't, it was just a couple of gold off, which is very unfortunate for her, as they look like they're jumping on mid. They're looking for Kesagimba. Will they have enough damage? They will. The Nether Toxin is going to be there, and they find themselves a kill on the Razor, so not all is bad for MiTH, although now, down in bottom, they're going to TP back the Drow Ranger, and she might just die a second time. She does have Naki in support, but, I don't know, the 3 heroes, the Centaur as well as the Dazzle and Shadow Demon are close, although they are going to go for the Viper, it seems. MiPro not too healthy, just 1 combo is going to be enough to drop him.
Although FCFC doesn't have enough for that combo. He is a little bit short on the mana, and he doesn't have any arcane boots on his buddies or anything like that. Dazzle and OK, they're still looking for it, but FC is long gone. So these 2 supports by themselves, though they can put out some pretty serious damage with their combo, it's not enough to kill off this Viper, I don't think. Maybe if they catch the Viper very far up, but they need at the very least 1 other hero here. And Razor, why not? Why not let it be Razor? Plasma Field will seal the deal on this Viper as long as they get their combo together. They're going to instead go for Nucky, who's in the wrong area right now. There's the Disruption. Curse as well. They're all going to group up for the Shadow Wave. The damage is going to be not there because of the silence from Lakelz. Now ADTR is going to try to get Stampeded away. He will Shallow Grave himself, and it looks like he will live, at least for now. 1 more hit from Lakelz, though. Poke, it's going to be enough. Naki is going to get zapped down by Razor in the back end. Now Lakelz got to run the other way, man. But here comes Centaur. Not where we want to go, Lakelz. Don't run into that horse, because the horse will kick your ass, but sometimes it just can't be avoided. The silence is there, so there's no double edge. Lakelz is going to live for a little bit longer, but OK is trapped in the trees now, has a haste rune. The damage is going to be there, I think, despite the miscoil. No, he'll slip down to the south. 1 more hit is all they need, but OK is going to try to deny himself to creeps. The shockwave is there. I don't know why the shockwave went, but it happened. And now MiPro, he's going to hit with double edge. FC getting a push back due to the gust. Lakelz still alive somehow, but it's going to be SD. Going to be focused down by Kesakin, but now looking for Lakelz or KYT or both. It's going to be neither, in fact. It's going to be overall a core for support and a core for support, and crucially for MiTH Trust, their Drow Ranger gets to live. Centaur jumping in. Unfortunately, didn't have Stampede then, so that probably would have made the difference.
It probably would. Drow Ranger survived with very little HP. Now as they're completed, treads on her person, and I don't know, this Drow Ranger is going to be quite a threat. The positioning in that last fight from Lakelz was very much on point, just skirting on the outskirts of that fight and pumping out a whole lot of damage. With the marksmanship bonus on herself and the rest of her team, it does a whole lot when you're able to focus them down. They weren't able for the majority of that fight to get that damage off, but when they were, it was very easy to take down the heroes. We do now have a pair of arcane boots on one of the supports on the side of Invasion, so the sustain for their combo is going to be a lot easier to pull off. But yeah, if the Scarth Mage is able to get silences like he did last fight, it'll be pretty solid for them to keep them at arm's length. FCFC is going to be able to walk away. He had the Centaur ultimate if things got really hairy, but he'll be fine.
Yeah, they smoke ganked for that one, and unfortunately, concussive shot was a little bit too slow. The projectile is just not cooperating when you're dealing with an enemy who has a Blink Dagger. Regardless, MiTH Trust, they don't even have to be getting these kills. They just have to make sure that Invasion don't get the complete map in order to roam around. So as long as MiTH Trust continuously try these pokes, and whether or not they get the kills is, for the most part, irrelevant. Of course, getting the kills is much better than not getting them, but they have to make sure that Invasion aren't getting too comfortable in this map. And MyPro, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble as OK is spotting everything out with an Invis rune. There's no detection here for the Radiant, but I don't know if Shadow Demon can do anything alone. But here comes the rest of the heroes. 4 heroes converging on top. There's a disruption, and I think this Puck is dead, although he will jaunt out. Stampede is going to give chase. Blink Dagger forward. It's going to be for SD that they go for. This is going to be a dead Skywrath Mage. Going to pump out a little bit of damage for it, guys. And it's actually the Centaur to die first, in fact. Wow, that was a lot of damage going to the Centaur. I guess just Viper with his poison load, it was enough. It was a pretty good trade since they got the Centaur down before the Skywrath Mage.
Yeah, 3-3-1 on the Viper. It's a build that we're not accustomed to seeing, but it does a whole lot of damage. And, I don't know, it looks like Invasion just kind of underestimated, as did I. I didn't think that that Centaur would die as quickly as he did, but he just fell. Lakelz, in the meantime, has just been farming away, which is exactly what he wants to be doing. He wants to get those levels ASAP for the rest of his team. Draw Ranger, despite pumping out a lot of damage on her own, it's really in the aura that she's going to shine. Already 28 damage that's given to everybody on the team. That stacks up very quickly.
Shadow Shaman used his wards in the middle lane, but like on his ramp, kind of. I don't really know what happened there, but it definitely did happen. So he didn't die, I guess. It kept him alive, but yeah, using the Serpent Wards for that is definitely not what they want to do. Now Invasion, they're going to go for a very comfortable mid push. They don't have a mech up on the Razor. In fact, it's quite a ways away. Still has one more part to complete. Should have it by now, honestly, as the Viper does already. So Keswick is going to be a little bit behind the Viper as far as that big team fight item is concerned. But Invasion, though they may want to go for this, I think it's going to be a little bit too threatening. They are capable of 100 to 0ing someone very quickly, but with the amount of damage and the plus 29 for everyone, whoever they jump in on, the Centaur is going to get focused down pretty quickly. And unless it's Lakelz, that's really the ideal situation for Invasion. They're going to look for it, but they're not going to find the Drow.
Yeah, I think Drow is just going to be playing defensively enough to where that's not going to be an option in most of these fights, especially if we see like a Blink on the Drow or just any positioning tool like Yasha, Mask of Madness. Something to keep yourself on the back lines as they might think about going is they're looking for a wraparound potentially on the Viper. They're going to find him in a corner, and they will be able to burst down MyPro pretty quickly. He pops the mechanism, and he's surviving throughout this. He's actually going to eat a Doom as well. Surports going to trap in Ghost. I don't know, MyPro is still surviving throughout the Doom. He should be denied. Will he be denied? He will. Skywrath Mage notches that auto attack to finish him off, and everybody just has to retreat. That's a 1-for-1 trade to start things off, and, well, Razor with the haste rune going to the plasma field and then stop that action. It looks like it's going to be all she wrote, as both teams spend a pretty long cooldown for that.
That was pretty nice for MiTH. I mean, not only do they get the kill on the Doom and the Viper deny, but that was a fight that they definitely shouldn't have gotten anything in, because before Invasion actually went in, they had a 5-man weave, so they had a huge amount of armor. But unfortunately, once the Serpent Wards get dropped and the Doom can't run away, the Doom is pretty much just left for dead at that point. And MiTH Trust, they made it happen. The Viper lived for a lot longer than I thought. Like, all these heroes on MiTH, they're dealing a lot more damage than we thought, and they're also surviving for a lot longer, so it's kind of a disorienting game to say the least, but still 7-6, and MiTH Trust, they're sitting pretty because Lakelz is getting his farm, and he's been killed off once, which is not ideal, but FCFC hasn't been nearly as active as I thought with the Centaur. Usually with the Centaur, it's you jump in, you get the kill, and it's just that. It's very easy, but he's only level 7 at the moment, though he does have level 4 double edge. The lack of hoof stomp damage is definitely hurting his kill potential.
It definitely is. Lakelz is going to go for a Mask of Madness, a wonderful farming item for Lakelz, and honestly, if he gets jumped on, he's going to die anyway, so I don't really see a compelling reason not to get Mask of Madness, and you'll get that wonderful effect with his Immortal anyway, so, you know, that's just how it is. I'm not sure if Serpent Wards get the Precision Aura when it's activated. I would assume as much, but late game, that could be ridiculous, as they're going to bump into the Centaur as well as Dazzle. Who's going to go on who? Nobody is. Well, MiTH Trust, they're expected to have more people there by Invasion. Invasion are just going to back off. Yeah, no spells thrown either way.
The Serpent Ward shouldn't get any bonuses from any auras ever.
Oh, they shouldn't?
Though
Okay.
Precision Aura, when it's active, I think might behave a little bit strangely. It should be no aura effects at all. Doom's going to go onto the puck down on bottom, and they're going to try to chase this one down, but they do have a lot of teammates. Now, once again, the Wards to trap off Ghost from the rest of his team. There's a nice 2-man stomp from FC, but it's not going to do too much damage as MyPro does come in. Ghost is going to be brought down. Puck's still alive in the back end as everyone else walled off by Zwards, and now here comes Lakelz. Further damage onto the Centaur, doing a lot of damage to herself through return, and now she's on the run. She's going to get hit pretty hard by the plasma field. Centaur will buy his way out, although the Puck is going to give chase. The orb will miss, though, and that's going to let FC survive. KYT is going to be able to dodge this purge damage, so the Puck is going to take no damage from... Okay, never mind. But still, they get the pick off on the Doom, and these Serpent Warriors have been meeting the Doom every single time, and it's just been working out so well for MiTH.
As nice as it is in the team fights, it is Serpent Wards that are used away from towers, so they're not able to get all these tier 1s as quickly as they would like to. But if they take a convincing team fight win, Droranger with her aura and with the 5-range heroes as well, those towers are going to melt one way or another. So it's not as important as it usually is to drop those Serpent Wards, so if it can win them the team fight, it's definitely worth it. So yeah, we are going to have... I don't know, our core items coming out from both sides. Razor does have his mechanism now, and it's looking pretty solid as far as farm is concerned. Pretty much tying up the Viper. The difference being the Aquila finished on the Viper, and I think only the Basilius? Or no, just a Wraith Band on the Razor, excuse me. Tier 1 tower push coming out from mid. Invasion are going to look to get a little bit of map control. Yeah, we are down surfboards for 28 seconds of MiTH Trust, so they might not want to fight, but then again, Invasion, they're also down Doom for a similar amount of time, so they're not going to fully commit to this, and it's just going to be an awkward standoff.
I'd just like to quickly point out that Precision Aura is giving everyone a very balanced plus 43 damage. So that's pretty cool. As long as Drow Ranger keeps her distance and maintains the marksmanship agility, everyone from MiTH Trust is going to be hitting like an absolute truck. Their attack speed isn't that high. Like Puck doesn't even have power treads, but still, they're dishing. It's insane how much damage these heroes are doing. As long as they keep the Drow Ranger alive, they will be able to pretty comfortably win the fights. But that's a tall order. Like, the Doom is going for a Blink Dagger, I can only imagine, and if he gets right on top of the Drow, then it's going to be sad times for her. With the Mask of Madness, she has really no way of getting out of this, and they're going to go for her immediately. In fact, Lakelz is not going to be under effects of the Madness, but I don't think she's going to survive this. There's the Poison Touch and Beatdown. Teleportation support is coming. She's going to try to turn this around. Deny, not going to be here this time from SD. They're going to put a little bit of damage onto Ghost, and MyPro's also going to teleport in. FC off to the side. Possibly looking for initiation here. Going for Viper, not the best idea, though. He is all alone. In the meantime, mid lane, someone's in a bubble. It's going to be Kessick Imbo, who's going to pop out and do a lot of damage to Shadow Demon. That's one kill. Centaur is going to kill off SD up on top with the help of a Mystic Flare. Kills all around the map, and Invasion finally getting what they want, which is kills on the Drow Ranger and then just kills in general.
Yeah, definitely. The Drow Ranger, it's effectively like taking a Demon Edge away from everybody when you kill her, so the aura is not active on everybody. We are going to see a pause, but yeah, that last fight, 3 for 0 all across the map. The Centaur found himself a really nice opening onto the Skywrath Mage as the Razor was cleaning house in mid. Tier 1 tower in middle should probably fall suit, although Invasion don't have a whole lot to go through this. We are going to have the G Saris coming out, and into the game we're going to go very shortly. G, maybe?
Alright. So here we go, in Invasion, they have a nice little opening where the Drow Ranger is currently out of commission to go for potentially a mid lane tower. FZ not too strong right now, but he will very quickly regenerate off of those Tranquil Boots. So now is when Invasion really want to make something happen, although everyone from MiTH is, unfortunately for Invasion, already up. Killing off this Drow, though, that's really the name of the game. She has quite a bit of gold, and there's no real way of stopping her from getting that gold because she's doing so much damage. She's clearing creeps quickly, especially with the Hand of Midas. So Invasion did have to turn up the heat, and though that last fight was really good for them, they have to maintain that for a couple more minutes.
Yep, 30 seconds on the Doom cooldown. Centaur can still go, although he is going to walk all the way back to base after clearing up some creeps. So they aren't going to commit to the tier 1 tower mid as everybody is back alive. Drow Ranger, I'd expect Blink Dagger to be your next pickup, or maybe she just goes for BKB. When you go for Mask of Madness, BKB is almost a necessity, as if you don't have it, you're going to die. And honestly, for Drow Ranger, she's going to die anyway. I think BKB is just one of the best ways she can keep herself alive, especially against Centaur initiations. Other than that, it's still pretty difficult. They can focus her down with the physical damage of the Doom and the aura that he's offering for his team, as well as the Razor pretty effectively. So maybe just the Blink Dagger to stay out of the fights as much as possible is strong. I think the smoke just popped onto SD, but they don't find the Doom, and there's no way that they're going to jump into that. They're going to send some illusions around, but those are the Razors, actually.
So the Razor's going to know that SD is here, but everyone else is still smoked up. I don't really think it's going to be entirely relevant. The Doom was very low, but he was farming like on the southern edge of this camp, so he was able to pop that smoke, and it's a pretty nice win for the Doom, although he will probably never know about it. So He will not be able to revel in his great plays. Lakel is going to absolutely just demolish this tower. It's not even funny. The attack speed of Drow Ranger is 0.45 seconds per attack, so you do the math there. He now does have a Blink Dagger, so it looks like he will just go the full glass cannon build, and if he gets caught, he gets caught. That's just going to be the end of the Drow Ranger, but if he doesn't get caught, then he could severely punish everyone else. Bottom lane, FC and ADTR, they're looking for MiPro, although Noki is here as well. He's going to show his face. There's a Stomp in for MiPro. The Shock's instantly going to be there in retaliation. Now, there's the Viper Strike, which will be buffed out by the Stampede. They're going to catch ADTR, trying to teleport out, and it looks like the gankers have become the gankies. MiPro's going to find the kill. Mid lane is also going to be pushed, and it will be a tower in the end for Invasion, so at least they get something. KYT is in the area. Can't really do much about it. Nokia as well as MiPro, they're running in the wrong neighborhood. That's not where we want to go. Doom onto the Shadow Shaman as well as Demonic Purge. This dude is so dead. Now can they get MiPro? There's one move forward, 2 blinks forward, in fact, for a stomp onto MiPro. Still alive for now. MiPro's kind of trying to kite awfully bold of him as the Doom gets put into a safety bubble, and with the mech there, everyone from Invasion going to be pretty healthy. MiTH Trust getting picked apart, really. They don't have enough heroes in the right places.
Yeah, they don't. They just found themselves in a very awkward corner of the map where the entirety of Invasion was rotating down towards bottom. And then you just start out the fight without Shadow Shaman wards, and I don't know, it's all downhill from there. The Ranger did a lot of damage to the Doom in return, but Doom was able to survive effectively enough, especially with the mechanism popped, was working with a decent amount of armor that you're usually not going to see. As Ranger pops the Razor.
Just as well.
Yeah, just blinking in with her as well as Puck, and then going to town on the Razor mech is not going to help you. Hell, even BKB is not going to help you versus that damage. It is just going to be too much. Razor, one of the more durable heroes on Invasion side, didn't stand a chance. Now Lakel's in company with the damage that they have, which is plus 45, not bad. They're going to tear down this tower as well. Here comes Naoki to potentially support. He has Serpent Wards available, and conceivably they can go for tier 2 tower here, as Lakel's is going to keep himself very safe, in fact, by blinking out. Looks like they don't want to go for any more. No sense pushing it. This Drow Ranger is stacked. She's at 2,600 gold off of the Blink Dagger. 21 minutes in, and she is very firmly on top of the gold per minute chart. In Invasion, they're not doing enough to stop her right now. But later on, Drow Ranger kind of does fall off, especially since it's very easy to get right into her face when everyone has a Blink Dagger and whatnot, 4 stabs, all that good stuff. So Drow Ranger, though she is very powerful right now, she will kind of fall off a little bit, assuming Invasion play correctly. But she's still devastating.
Absolutely, especially now with the Yasha. That's another 16 agility that they're working with, as well as more movement speed on the Drow Ranger. She should be able to kite them, but it's still not going to change the fact that if she's caught out, she's dead. I'm not sure there's very many items that are going to do that. Eventually, like, if she replaces the Mask of Madness with a Satanic and she gets a BKB on top of it, maybe she can man-fight pretty effectively, but even then, Lakel's is not there for tankiness. She just wants to keep herself alive, so that 51 damage now is going to be applied to everybody.
And that's a crucial fact. They need to keep this Drow alive, and they need to keep her out of range of everyone. Again, it's that very delicate balancing game that you have for yourself whenever you pick up the Drow Ranger. If she's in the back, you probably win the fight. If she's in the front, you probably lose the fight, and it's just as easy as that. Invasion, they have Stampede, they have Blink Daggers on 2 heroes, I believe, with no one else going to get one. Maybe Shadow Demon later on, but that seems way too far off to be realistic. So, MiTH Trust, they've taken down all the tier 1 towers, and the tower score is in fact even. There is a good amount of movement for Invasion. They're looking for MiPro in the middle lane, who's honestly a little bit too far ahead of his team to feel comfortable with his situation right now. But if it does come to it, they could fight, because MiTH Trust, they're all in the jungle in Invasion. They could go for a Roshan, although they don't really have the best lineup for it. With Weave, it's pretty safe, but it's also very slow. So it looks like both teams are just going to stall out and get a couple more core items. I expect BKBs, 4 staves are going to be really what everyone's waiting for.
Yeah, I would say so as well. 4 staffs are going to be important for both sides, as they'll help you get into the Drow's face and keep the Drow alive. They aren't going to go into the Roshan pit. If either team win a fight, they'll be able to take it. Drow Ranger mows through that and could solo it feasibly very easily, as long as they have the room in order to do so. Right now they don't. But yeah, with more heroes in the pit, it's just going to be that much easier to take the Roshan. Razor picks himself up a BKB, and that's one of the items that's going to be very useful in the next team fight. For Invasion to take them more comfortably. Let's see. Invasion currently have committed a whole heck of a lot of sentries inside their own jungle to de-ward any vision that MiTH Trust might have. They've committed 4, but didn't find any wards, or at least I don't think they did. It's the 2 that MiTH Trust do have are on the outskirts of their jungle. But then again, no invisibility runes are going to help you there. And well, into Roshan Pit they go. They have the medallion on the Shadow Demon, I believe, is the one that's using it, and there you go. And now they're just gonna right-click it down. DD on the Razor, as well as the Alpha Wolf Aura, will make this a little bit faster than you usually see. The Illusory Orb is going to scout things out, and they'll know this is going on, but will they actually be able to react? It looks like they're going to try. They have Necro Minions, but I think Roshan is already going to die. Are they going to jump in? Supports in the pit. They're going to go on FZFC. Now the Dream Coil onto 3. They don't follow this up. The support staff goes up the high ground from FZFC. He is going to be graved up as Lakelz is on the back lines. They focus down the Razor, or Viper, as well as the Scarlet Mage. Now Lakelz going to be stomped up by FCFC. He can't go for the double edge as he's too darn low, and Lakelz is going to survive, but everybody else is not going to be so lucky. So now they're chasing down Naki. They get the kill on the puck, and now they're going to find them 4 heroes down. An ill-advised attempt to combat that Roshan coming out from MiTH.
Drow Ranger in that last fight did like no damage. She was forced to run away from FCFC for most of that, and the Centaur just running at the Drow, that was all it took. Drow Ranger used the blink to get closer to the fight because, you know, you have to at that case. It's either you blink to get into the fight or you don't join the fight at all, and Lakelz just didn't do any physical, and without that damage from MiTH, they just couldn't get anything done. They needed the Drow to be hitting people all the time, but when you're facing down a stampeding Centaur, that's impossible to do unless you have a BKB, but even then you lose your precision, your marksmanship bonus. So with Drow Ranger doing no damage, Invasion just had a complete time to do whatever the hell they wanted, and that was just kill everyone else because MiTH Trust, they don't have any tanky frontliner. They're all ranged, so it's again a very delicate fight that MiTH Trust, they have to win off of kiting and everything like that, but Lakelz, he's going to run to the wrong neighborhood. He's going to run straight into FZ. Oh, this is not what we wanted. What is going... What? Oh. Okay, it looks like both teams don't know each other are there, but regardless, in that Roshan pit, the coil landed on 3. The Serpent Wards were walling everyone off, but they still couldn't get anything done because they didn't have enough front line and Lakelz wasn't doing any damage.
Yeah, Viper's build this game, I'm not a huge fan of it. He's going for the Necro Book. They need this Viper to be on the front lines. He now has a maxed out corrosive skin, which is all fine and good, but at this point in the game, the mechanism of maxed out corrosive skin is not going to keep you on the front lines safely. Centaur, he's going to run in, but immediate blink away. They're going to be able to avoid that fight, at least for now. Ranger also going to blink out of there. Nothing's going to happen. Invasion are not going to find anybody, and MiTH will be able to back off safely. Noki is sitting very aggressively inside the enemy woods, going on a secret mission. I have no idea what he's planning to do, but I'd expect him to TP out, and there you go. Into the mid lane he goes.
Fortunately for him, Razor didn't spot him out with that plasma field, but MiTH Trust, at this point, I don't even know if they could fight full-on 5v5. Stampede aggressively to get into the face of Drow is just so devastating. Doing this in the mid lane, though, is exactly what MiTH Trust want to be doing. Have Lakelz just go to the tower, and even these illusions do some pretty serious damage with all the agility that Drow has, so they're going to be enough to force back a fortification and 4 TPs, in fact. That was really nice for MiTH Trust right there. A nice little win for them, as long as no one dies, although Lakelz, feeling awfully comfortable with his position, is going to be in between a whole bunch of heroes, although it doesn't seem like they know about it. She has a Blink Dagger, so it looks like she should be able to survive, and yeah, the Plasma Field doesn't cancel the Blink, and Drow Ranger is going to live to fight another day. She's finished up the Manta Style, and she's holding on to another 1900 gold. She's very close to being 6-slotted, although, you know, Mask of Madness, Hand of Midas, you could swap those out for better items down the line. She's getting to the point where she is at her peak / past her peak, and if MiTH Trust don't act upon this now, then they could start falling behind.
Yeah, they definitely could. MiTH Trust, it's starting to feel a little bit dangerous for them. The Invasion mid-game has really worked out. The last couple of team fights have been very scary for them. We have a double damage rune spotted out by the puck. I assume they're going to save that for Lakelz, and he'll be hitting for a whole lot of damage. I'm not sure they're going to be able to use this, but right now, that's more or less a free rapier. 2/3 of it, at the very least.
It's okay. It's about average. Sounds balanced to me. It's at the cost of a tanky frontline, as this game would have been so much easier for MiTH if they had like a Tidehunter or something. Yeah, he doesn't get the benefits of marksmanship, which sucks, but they would have had someone in order to disrupt and peel off for the Drow. And, well, they're going to go right back to the top lane. This tower is so freaking dead if Lakelz wants to jump in. There's a Stampede in FZ. I don't know why the Stampede is being used. Why? Okay, well, Stampede is down. Now MiTH Trust have a nice little opening here. They're going to jump away. FZ going to try to chase down Lakelz. Now the marksmanship bonus is gone. She's doomed up as well. Drow Ranger is as good as dead. The rest of her allies nowhere to be found. MyPro going to get hit with the Poison Touch down on the south side of this fight. He'll drop a Viper Strike and try to go for OK. Even if he does get this kill, though, it's not going to be worth it, and he's not going to get this kill either. Drow and Viper crumble so very quickly. They take 2 towers. That was even with no Stampede being used. Ghost hits so hard versus that Drow. Marksmanship, or Mask of Madness Berserk, not helping her case there. Invasion take another 2 kills, lose another tower, which is perfectly okay with them. And MiTH Trust, they were kind of like iffy if they wanted to take that fight at all. I guess they didn't want to take the fight, but they got caught anyway.
At this point, you don't want to take any fight unless you're able to find a pick-off first. It's all going to be about the split push game coming out from them from here on out until somebody gets, like, triple hearts. I don't know. We are going to see Noki blink TP away, but the Scarth Mage, he might not be so lucky as he's caught out. He's going to throw out a little bit of damage, but not just chased down by the Scorched Earth Doom. I don't think there's a way that the Scarth Mage is going to be able to get out of here. He's going to blink forward, cleave him down with a crit in style, dominating spree for Ghost, and well, they get out with the Shadow Shaman, but lose the Scarth Mage in return. Definitely worth the TPs down.
So at this point, MiTH, they're just bleeding heroes. And we said before that Invasion, they don't really have the strongest late game, but Drow Ranger, though she is a pretty good damage source late game, she's not a great late game hero. And Invasion, they just have so much bulk on the front lines. They have a BKB in the works for the Centaur. Shiva's Guard on Doom doing some pretty nice work as well. Invasion, you just got to feel like they're in control of the game. It's 2,000 gold in their advantage, only a little bit more than 5,000 experience, but just the hero comp alone, it's benefiting Invasion so much. Stampede is going to deny Drow Ranger yet another attempt at getting a solo kill versus the Razor, and the rest of the heroes in Invasion going to slide down to the bottom lane. With only KYT here to defend, this tower is going to be forfeit.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We might see an Illusory Orb drop by KYT, but that's about all that he can do. He'll drop the creep wave down to about half, but they should still be able to just tank this up and take it. FCFC, he could probably just tank it, but they're not even going to need it. They're going to jump forward looking for the puck, not going to find him. But yeah, they might not even stop. They're going to lose the tier 2 tower in mid for it. The Serp Wards are activated, and, well, they will be committed. They're not going to have it for this next fight, however, and Aegis reclaimed it. Unfortunate timing for Invasion is the Razor's not going to have that second life to work with, but the Agnum Scepter working on this tier 3 tower. Tier 3 tower is down, and they're just going to go for a straight-up trade with Lakel's as well as the Viper up top. They're trying to stem the bleeding here, but they're going to lose their tier 3 tower first, but they might be able to trade racks. Range barracks in mid are falling, and Lakel's is going to be able to find them. They TP back with the Doom, and now potentially looking for more. The Viper Strike goes the way of the Doom, but it doesn't matter as MyPro is going to lose his life. Trade 1 for MiTH Trust, though. They get a Viper for range barracks.
I mean, it's a pretty nice win for MiTH. They show that they can do that damage, and the Drow Ranger, again, she's a pretty good late game damage source, and when there's no heroes to compete up against, you'll be able to do that damage. But do you know that $1 million Dream Coil that S4 had back in TI3? That was not what MiTH Trust just had. KYT blindly blinked forward, had 3 people on the bottom lane that he could have disrupted their teleportations back. That would have been a full lane of racks in the middle lane, but he only got 1, and it was the Razor. So it was like the most disappointing Dream Coil of all time. And he ultimately didn't get the Raxes for his team because he repositioned his blink poorly, he Dream Coiled poorly. Either way, they couldn't get the full set of Raxes. But, you know, they take the ranged Rax, which is a lot more than they otherwise would have gotten. Now they're going to go for Ghost up on top, although Blink Dagger away. Doombringer is not going to get caught off by that. Not a chance. So it's still a nice little win for MiTH, but they're still behind, and they have to worry about this bottom lane. And I don't think they could realistically keep him making these trades, as Nucky is going to get jumped on in mid. He's just so screwed.
Yep, double edge. They're going to finish off that kill. He shackles somebody, but that's about all that he can do. They're going to lose their 2-2 tower in mid almost for sure, especially with the kills not coming back. They're looking for the trade yet again. As you said, I'm not sure they're going to be able to find it. The Doom's already here, and I don't know, he should be enough to stop this push. The Drow Ranger can't fight against the Doom, and here you're going to go. Scarth Mage, he's looking for the ultimate. He's going to gust him out of it, however, and Molt Ghost, he's dropped very low, but they're just going to be forced to back off. If that gust didn't come through, I think they might have been able to get the kill on the Doom. Scarth Mage is going to avoid death, however, and so just losing their 2-2 tower in mid, I'm going to assume that they're going to be fine with that. As 4-staff, it's going to keep the Dazzles safe.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a skirmish in the middle lane as well. Coil was deployed, but ultimately not enough sticking damage to actually kill off anyone. So it's still 10-20, and MiTH Trust, their only real chance in this, I think, is to avoid the fights completely unless they get a really lucky pickoff, which they're currently not getting, and then just try to backdoor their way to victory, or not backdoor, you know, split push the way to victory. Backdooring is good too. I mean, if they could do that, then that's golden. But either way, they need to be sneaky, and they just have to avoid fights as long as they can. Have this Drow Ranger be just a straight-up wrecking ball. Now with a Daedalus, she'll be able to tear down towers like nobody's business. And if she's left alone, then even though Invasion may have 3-4 heroes pushing the MiTH Trust base, Drow Ranger is just going to be faster, and that's a terrifying thought. Invasion suddenly are up against a Nature's Prophet-esque hero that is able to 1v1 with the best of them. So Lakel's is going to be up on top lane along with SD. If they get jumped, then they're just screwed. But they're banking on the fact that no one is here. And, well, they're going to jump in with Ghost. Gush back, and the damage is not going to be there because the Stampede is going to cancel off everything. Mystic Flare is going to be deployed, but Lakel's can't really stand and fight versus Ghost. He can do a lot of damage, but definitely not enough. Drow Ranger's going to go down, and SD is soon to follow. Unfortunately for MiTH, just straight pushing with 2 heroes is never, ever, ever a good idea this late in the game.
Yeah, Doom has a Heart of Tarrasque completed. Had he not had it finished, he might have fallen because of the Mystic Flare, but once that aura is depleted for the Drow Ranger, she's not as scary a hero. That's 60, or 80 rather, agility now at this point, that she's not going to be working with, and even with the Mask of Madness on, it's not enough to rip through a Doom that has 22 armor as well as almost 3000 HP. Lincoln Sphere completed by the Puck. This is more or less just for the Drow Ranger, keep that Drow alive and make sure that she doesn't die, but even then, I'm not sure it actually matters that much, as the single target's not what they're worrying about, with the exception being the Doom. MyPro cut out in bottom, no way he's surviving. A triple hero Dream Coil going to do nothing, as the mechanism keeps MyPro alive for a little bit longer, but just enough for Kiilstofte Imba to zap him down with the Eye of the Storm. Yeah, it's just not looking good. They can't lose their Drow anymore at this point in the game, and with no Boots of Travel, Drow Ranger, her split pushing job is going to be a lot harder. Now, into the bottom lane, Invasion go, and I think they're the first ones to bring down the melee barracks as they find, oh, the poor Skywrath Mage. He'll be brought down solo by the Centaur Warner as the melee barracks falls to Kiilstofte Imba. Drow Ranger is back, but they're going to lose an entire lane of racks for this, and now, ooh, whose courier died? That was the Dyer's courier. What was that holding? It looks like it was a completed Blink Dagger, which is a loss, but it's not enough to warrant them losing this fight, and there's no way that MiTH Trust can actually jump into this.
Especially once Weave comes back up. Dazzle is going to give MiTH Trust so much physical survivability, and all of a sudden your plus 65 damage is not going to be doing too much. Ghost will get initiated upon, but it's Ghost with a heart and disruption backup. He's not going to take any damage there. He's going to, in fact, turn this one around and try to go for the kills. Blink forward from Centaur. If they kill off the kills, this is going to force a buyback, which he doesn't actually have. This might just be a good game. They've taken down the Drow Ranger for a second time, and then without the Drow, MiTH, they don't actually do any damage, especially up against that Weave. So, yeah, they're going to drop Mystic Flares, but I think it's, for the most part, all a formality. Ghost is pretty much unkillable by the MiTH Trust side, and they're going to land another Stomp and just try to throw some skills here and there, but with 2 racks is down, MiTH Trust, they're not going to be facing down Mega Creeps, but they pretty much have run out of hope at this point, especially since they don't get anyone from Invasion as they teleport out to safety. So it's going to be very easy, rotate up to the top lane, do the exact same thing up there. Drow Ranger, she's not keeping her spacing good enough. She has to be so much further back if she wants to survive, and now with the Hex on the Razor, that's going to be even iffy if he is going to survive. If Razor gets on top of her, she's pretty dead.
Yeah, you also have a Shadow Demon Blink Disruption now, as well as multiple Force Staffs to keep people in. Like, just Force Staff the Razor and Hex her up and she's gone. Roshan is going to be taken by Invasion. I think after this Rosh, it's pretty much just barrel down top. They had the Tier 2 tower still standing, so they couldn't go straight for that barracks, but it's going to be easy enough for them to take it. Kiilstofte Imba, despite not being as tanky as your Doom and the Centaur, both of them hanging on, yeah, Doom and Centaur both hanging onto hearts. Kiilstofte Imba still can sit in the middle of the fights very comfortably.
So Roshan is going to be down. Ghost or Razor? It's going to be Aegis for Razor. That was second Roshan, I believe, so no cheese for the team just yet. But Doom's holding on to a very reasonable 5,000 gold after buying Assault Cuirass down to 2,000 gold, and they see someone in mid lane. This is going to be a survival for the Shadow Shaman. Very well played by him. Fast Hands going to get himself safety with the Blink Dagger, but not killing off the Shadow Shaman. Killing off the Shadow Shaman, honestly, though he does have Mass Serpent Wards level 2 that are agging him, who cares? He's still on the run, and Ghost is going to cut him off, although it looks like... No, TP canceled! This Shadow Shaman has a secret mission, and I think it's going to be backdooring. I don't think it's going to be enough, but you got to hand it to him for trying. He's going to go for it. There is backdoor protection. He's going to deploy the Serpent Wards, which are going to do pretty much nothing, but still, it's a good attempt, I guess.
Drow Ranger, pop your aura. I want to see if I'm wrong. I think I am, but whatever. Doesn't matter. He does no damage, and now, oh, avoids the stomp. He might still survive. Yeah, Noki is going to hex up the Centaur, but he's not doing enough here, as the Centaur, he's just too darn tanky. Yeah, he needs to get out of there. They're going to lose their Tier 2 tower up top. Dark Courier does respawn, and, well, he's doing no damage, because backdoor protection is a thing.
And now on the top lane, there's a Mystic Flare onto Keswick, doing a little bit of damage. The coil has been popped as well with a nice 2-man silence and a 2-man gust. This time Lakellis has a good amount of space to do his damage, but is it going to be enough? Ghost is tanking up everything. He will go down despite his Assault Cuirass, and Lakellis finally got a chance to do some right-click damage. And now that jump forward, they're going to look for more, though Lakellis has to keep his spacing tight here. He's going to get a Gush onto a couple, and 1, 2, 3 shots is going to kill off the Dazzle with the silence. No Shallow Grave there. They're going to chase down Keswick Imba as well. Blink Dagger is going to be up shortly for the Drow. Body blocking from the puck, although the turnaround from Razor and FC coming around as well. Double Edge is going to annihilate that puck, and now Drow has to book it. Keswick is still dropping pretty low. He does it with the Aegis. Now Hoof Stomp in. Lakellis, he's going to get double edged, although, yes, there it is. There is buyback on the Drow Ranger this time, but I don't know if it's going to be enough because SD is also on the run. Buyback is up from the Drow Ranger. She's going to use it, trying to save her Skywrath buddy as he's going to get chased down by a Centaur. He's going to double edge, which will splash over to Lakellis. Now Hoof Stomp onto Lakellis as well. If Drow goes down, that's going to be GG. It looks like he'll survive for a little bit longer. One more hit. Gust is going to push Centaur back, but Drow Ranger will go down in the end. It's a triple kill for FC. MyPro's still alive, although doing literally no damage at this point. Stampede is going to get Razor out of that situation. Buyback from the Centaur and Invasion. 15 seconds, their Doom will be up as well. Then it's going to be top lane time. With Drow Ranger down for 80 seconds, I don't think MiTH can defend this.
I think Drow Ranger just killed herself on return, if I'm not mistaken. And GG.
Seems like that, yeah.
Yeah, not much more can be said. MiTH, I like their draft in theory. It can do a ridiculous amount of damage, but they just missed that crucial component of their draft to keep themselves on the front lines and actually start a fight. At that last fight, Lakellis, he was able to drop down some heroes, which is nice, but they needed that like 20 minutes ago when their other lanes were falling. So yeah, that's going to round out game number 1. It's not over, but Invasion looking really strong. 3-0 on the day.
Alright guys, we're going to be moving on to game number 2 shortly, so don't go anywhere. There's going to be another game between MiTH and Invasion, and hopefully the interesting strategy will win, because I'm all for interesting strategies.